underneath, right by your glutes. And touch those heels or just barely keep them off the ground at the bottom. Remember, you can just set those legs down if you have to, but keep that dumbbell that same spot right above your head. And 11. Remember, step that down safely and rise back up. We have one more set with the opposite arm. You should be feeling alive right now. You should be feeling the blood flowing from the heart to the abs, to our shoulders, pumping. You're sweating. Woo-wee! Love it. This is what I live for. So remember, as we eat to grow, to change our bodies, we gotta start wrapping our mind around supplementation, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, all of it. It's metabolic training that we're putting our bodies through here. It's about training our bodies how to digest food and when to digest it, and how it can properly function for the most beneficial aspects of every single minute of every single day. Pick up that dumbbell. Here we go. We got 10 seconds left. Safely lean back. Left hand now, opposite hand. Arm down, leg straight, and lift and push. Lift, push at that ceiling. There we go. Same pace up, same pace down. There we go. Now roll over. You have to roll over and push yourself up. That means you're working. Now, we're moving in to shoulders. We're horizontal loading here. We're doing the same body part sets straight through and switching each body parts through each 4 sets, 3 sets, or 2 sets. What that does is it allows us to keep the load high and our body parts rest while we hit one and move to the next. Okay, so now we're gonna move into some shoulder raises. We're doing side dumbbell shoulder raises. Generally, this is a much, much lighter weight. I'm gonna grab 25 pounds. So if I'm doing 25, I don't know what you're doing. But it's important here, keep the chest up and someone just pushed on your shoulders. And we're gonna start with the light back bend, knees lightly bent, and we're just gonna go straight out with those tendons protected just like this. And here we go. We stop at the top of the shoulder. There's 1, there's 2, and it's a control. You aren't swinging, you're controlling. We don't want to touch the dumbbells at the bottom. We want to act as if there's an egg right there that we don't want to break. That's the distance between the dumbbells at the bottom and the planes right at the top of our shoulders. Down and up. There we go. Well, we got 2 sets of these before we switch exercises. So give me what you got. And 2, and 1, and 1 more. Woo! Again, set the weights down using the legs. Protect that lower back. As we move forward in shaping our bodies and our shoulders, we gotta learn. So no, I don't want you just to watch me and go through the motions. I want you to get excited about it. You may not be there yet. But as we connect our minds to the body parts we're working, we start to realize our own bodies and what they can do and what they're capable of. So when I say bend those legs and bend that back and get that firm grip, and we're gonna hit shoulders, connect the mind to the shoulder. We're hitting this inner part of the shoulder on this exact movement. Arm presses, we're targeting more of the front delt. We're gonna be targeting some of the back delt with some traps on our next set. So I don't want to confuse you, but I want you to get excited about shaping your own body. That's what we're here to do. Sculpt a new you. So here we go. Last set of these guys. Bend those knees, lower back, shoulders back, and up. And up. No swinging. Just a constant shoulder movement. A lot of people want to get a little bounce in, but try to control it. Drop that weight and get this form down. And 10. Woo! Now, as we're lifting childs, I got my son Logan, he's 2 years old. These kids keep growing up on me.
They're gonna run to me, I'm gonna pick them up. This is how we adapt all of our movements to everyday life, okay? It's gonna teach us how to entertain, how to adapt this training to our everyday life, how we adapt picking up simple dumbbells to picking up a child safely, so we don't compromise our back, so we don't pull a joint and we're out for good. Remember, foundation here is perfecting our form before we move on to any other advanced movements. I've been at this a while, so I have a failure point that might not be quite as good as yours, or yours might not be quite as good as mine. But we're here to sculpt, we're here to shred, and we're here to tone a body, okay? Next movement, front raise. Dumbbells, pick them up like you're picking a child up. Rest them on the front of that thigh with soft knees, shoulders back. And we're gonna start actually with the dumbbells at your side. Just like this, palms facing towards your hips. And we're gonna go straight out in front of us, shoulder height. Just like that, there you go. Just like that with a small twist at the top. There's 2. There's 3. Woo! There's 4. There's 5. Breathe. Incoming. Up, down, going up. There we go. There we go. Now, working with progressive overload, try to pick a weight and go up this next set if you can. If you can only get 8, stick with the weight or actually drop weight. If you got 11, we need to bump that weight up good, okay? We're pushing our bodies, we're training our muscles how to build while we're burning the fat. 60-second rest gives us just enough time to recover before we hit that muscle again for maximum effort. So, again, soft elbows, okay? Shoulders back, knees soft. Starting points here, straight out and straight in. It's a learning process. Form, keeping everything square. When I worked for my dad, they said measure twice and cut once. What that means is you measure a board twice or whatever you're gonna measure, so whenever you cut it, you don't have to cut a new one. Take your time, focus on this form. Here we go. That's right, soft knees, starting position, shoulders back, and up, twist, there you go. Palms should be facing down to the floor at the top of this movement. Stop at the side, no swinging, control with the shoulders, strong back. Breathe easy. Nice and easy. Woo! There we go, up and down. Woo! 8 to 11, that was it. Now, we're gonna hit those abs. Get that mat, move everything over. I want you to visualize on what body part we're working this next set. It's the abs. Now, what you cannot do is you cannot out-train a diet. What does that mean? We can put in the work here, but if we don't put in the work in the kitchen, our results will plateau. That means we need to feed our body what it needs to grow and shape and tone and sculpt. So when we break it down in here, we need to build it up out there. Plain and simple. We'll do side oblique crunches. We got 4 sets, 8 to 11. We're gonna start down on the mat. Drop those knees to the side. Shoulders flat on the back. Again, like someone's pushing your shoulders down on this mat is where I want them to stay. I want your knees over to the left side, your left hand on your right obliques, and your hand behind the head. I don't want you to use the hand behind the head to assist that neck and pull it up. I want you to just roll your chin to your chest and use those abs to crunch. Here we go. There's 1. There's 2. Focus on the obliques. It's these fingers going across the side of the abs. We all have them. You just need to uncover them. I want you to hold just for a split second at the top and squeeze. It's a short range movement here. We are bringing the back into it. Bringing that shoulder, squeezing those obliques. And 11.
Oblique is one of the crunches is one of the most underutilized ab training. I used to do them back when I was about 22 years old, a short range motion. I remember one of my coaches coming in saying, I can do those for days. But what it is focusing on the contraction, keeping that engaged, the entire movement, and squeezing at the top, breathing out, but keeping them engaged on the way down. That short range movement and isolating those obliques on that full range engages them, makes them grow, and makes you only to where you should be able to only hit the rep range we're talking about. That's 8 to 11. Okay? 8 to 11. Here we go. We're going to switch sides now. Same thing. Drop those knees over. Left hand behind head. Right arm, left obliques. Shoulders flat on the mat. Elbow up and crunch. Visualize those abs contracting, and when you at the top, there is no more range of motion. You couldn't squeeze more if you wanted to. It's the contraction on the way up and the holding on the way down. Just barely touching that opposite shoulder to that mat at the very back. It's a nice control movement. Isolating those obliques. We're hitting the entire abs today and core with the shoulders. There we go. 2 more. And now we're talking. I treat my abs like any other body part. I've never been one